Those who have anything to say about the play in the last game, I didn't see the play in real time. I went straight to a press conference. I thought the play got called right. Thankfully, Sophie's okay. Was it egregious? Absolutely. When you have a chance to watch that over and over and over on replay, you can see that. I didn't have that in real time. I take personally any suggestions that I don't 100% always have my players' back. I ride with them 10 toes down all the time. All the time. They know that.
Christie Sides stood at a press conference podium and said the words that would define her entire coaching tenure. When they go low, we go high. Love will win. Grace will win. Humility will win. And kindness will win. The problem? Her players were getting targeted on the court. The fans were demanding protection. And the coach kept preaching grace. Within months, Christie Sides was fired. And when you actually look at what happened, this wasn't just about basketball strategy. This was about a fundamental disconnect between what a fanbase expected and what a coach was willing to deliver. And that gap destroyed a coaching career. Let's talk about what actually went wrong. August 2024. Indiana Fever versus Connecticut Sun. Caitlin Clark drives to the basket. DeJonai Carrington's hand comes up. Contact. Clark goes down, clutching her eye. The replay shows Carrington's fingernail made contact with Clark's eye. The arena goes silent. Caitlin Clark, the biggest star in women's basketball, is hurt. And everyone watching had the same question. What is the coach going to do? Christie Sides stood on the sideline. No reaction. No confrontation with the officials. No technical foul. No visible anger. The game continued, and that moment became the symbol of everything fans hated about her coaching. Now, here's what we know for certain. The play was ruled incidental contact. The referees did not call a flagrant foul.
Really? That should be behind.
Unbelievable.
I take personally any suggestions that I don't 100% always have my players' back.
Stop.
Liar.
I ride with them 10 toes down all the time.
That's ChatGPT
All the
wrote your
time.
speech.
They know that.
They're saying ChatGPT wrote this speech. That's funny.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's a shame that we can't have an opportunity to talk about what great basketball they're playing.
Nobody cares about the basketball
Because they are
Favorite.
playing.
Go all the way to the last 20 seconds. Okay.
United, every day these women
Watch.
put their on the line.
And you didn't protect them.
Damn.
Every day. When they go low, we go high. Love will win.
Love will win.
Grace will win.
Grace.
Humility will win.
Okay, great.
And
It's about to
kindness
show up.
will win.
Kindness.
It's about
Here
to
comes
show up.
kindness.
Carrington maintained it was accidental. The league reviewed it and took no disciplinary action. But the reaction to how Sides handled it told us everything about the pressure building inside the Fever organization. After the game, reporters asked Sides about the play. Her response, "I didn't see that in real time." Let that sit for a second. Your franchise player, the most scrutinized, most valuable, most targeted player in the league, just took a hand to the face. And the head coach didn't see it. Now, is that possible? Sure, coaches can't see everything in real time. But when you're coaching Caitlin Clark, the fanbase isn't looking for reasonable explanations. They are looking for a bodyguard. And Christie Sides wasn't that. She followed up with another statement that made things worse. "I take personally any suggestions that I don't 100% always have my players' backs. I ride with them 10 toes down all the time." The words sound strong, but the delivery didn't match the moment. Fans weren't questioning her loyalty. They were questioning her response. And there's a difference.
And then you tell everybody to go to hell. You think that's going to work for you, Coach White? Think that's going to work for you? The reality of the situation is none of that stuff will win if it's left up to you, Stephanie White. Because you're not handling it right. You playing right into their hands. Right into their hands. Because you're not embracing the reality of the tense situation that the WNBA, and especially you as the coach of the Indiana Fever, is involved in. There are folks in Indiana at a home game booing you. ain't the road team. You the home team. You the home coach. And they booing you. And Sophie Cunningham and Caitlin Clark can speak up for you all they want to, as they did, and as they should have. But that's not going to be enough. Sophie Cunningham here, our locker room in there. It's tight and we have each other's backs. She didn't see the clip. Coach loves us. She didn't see the clip, and that's okay. Me and Steph are great. Steph is great with all of us. And so it's really the outside noise that's trying to distract us, but we're good. Before I go any further, let me...
You can support your players in the locker room all you want, but if you don't fight for them publicly, if you don't show visible fire when they get targeted, the fan base will turn on you. That's exactly what happened. Christie Sides had a clear coaching philosophy. She said it repeatedly throughout the season. When they go low, we go high. Love will win. Grace will win. Humility will win. Kindness will win. On paper, that sounds like leadership. It sounds like maturity. It sounds like taking the moral high ground. But in practice, it looked like passivity, because while Sides was preaching grace, her players were getting hammered. Caitlin Clark wasn't just facing normal defensive pressure. She was getting hip-checked, hand-checked, grabbed, and butted in ways that fans perceived as targeted. And every time it happened, the coach's response was the same. Stay composed. Don't retaliate. Focus on basketball. But here's the thing. Fans didn't want composure. They wanted protection. They wanted a coach who would get a technical foul defending Caitlin. They wanted someone who would scream at the referees. They wanted visible, undeniable proof that the coach had her players' backs. And Christie Sides never gave them that. Social media exploded. Fans started compiling clips. Every hard foul, every non-call, every moment Christie Sides stood still on the sideline while her players got hit. The narrative became, she refuses to protect her own team. Now, let's be clear about what this actually was. This wasn't a massive leak. There was no secret conspiracy. There was no proof that Sides was working with the enemy. But the perception was just as damaging. Fans believed that Sides cared more about her image, her philosophy, and her reputation for composure than she did about defending her players. And in the age of Caitlin Clark, that perception was fatal. Because Caitlin didn't just bring talent to Indiana. She brought expectations. She brought a fan base that had never watched the WNBA before. She brought millions of people who didn't care about playing the right way or taking the high road. They cared about winning, and they cared about seeing their player protected. Christie Sides was coaching in the wrong era for her philosophy. It wasn't just the Carrington incident. There were other moments throughout the season that fed the narrative. When Fever players got into physical battles, Sides often substituted them out instead of letting them play through it. When opponents played aggressive defense, Sides stuck with her system instead of adjusting. When fans and analysts called for more defensive intensity, Sides talked about staying true to who we are. Every decision reinforced the same message. This coach has a plan, and she's not changing it, even if it's not working. And that's a problem, because rigidity in coaching doesn't look like strength. It looks like stubbornness. The Fever finished the 2024 season 20-20. They made the playoffs for the first time in years. Caitlin Clark had a Rookie of the Year caliber season. By any reasonable standard, that's progress. But the fanbase didn't care about progress. They cared about the gap between what the team could be and what it was. And they blamed the coach. October 2024, the Indiana Fever announced that Christie Sides had been relieved of her duties. One season, one playoff appearance, and it was over. The official statement was professional. The team thanked her for her service and said they were moving in a different direction. But everyone knew what that meant. The fanbase had turned. The pressure had become unsustainable, and the organization made a choice. Keep the coach, or keep the fans happy. They chose the fans. Now, here's what makes this complicated. Christie Sides wasn't a bad coach. She wasn't incompetent. She wasn't secretly sabotaging her own team. But she was the wrong coach for this specific moment. Because coaching Caitlin Clark isn't just about X's and O's. It's about managing expectations. It's about understanding that millions of people are watching who have never watched before. It's about recognizing that the fanbase doesn't just want wins. They want a fight. And Christie Sides didn't fight the way they wanted her to. Let's zoom out. This story isn't just about one coach losing her job. It's about what happens when old-school coaching philosophy crashes into new-school fan expectations. Christie Sides came from a generation of coaches who valued composure, discipline, and taking the high road. But she was coaching in the Caitlin Clark era, an era where fans expect their coach to be a defender, not a diplomat. An era where viral moments matter as much as game plans. An era where if you don't show emotion, fans assume you don't care. And that's a nearly impossible standard. Because if Sides had gotten technicals, if she had screamed at refs, if she had played into the role fans wanted, she might have been criticized for being too emotional or losing control. She was in a no-win situation. But the league is changing. The WNBA is no longer a niche product with a patient, forgiving fan base. It's mainstream now, and mainstream fan bases are ruthless. They don't care about your philosophy. They don't care about your process. They care about wins, highlights, and whether you're willing to go to war for your star. Christie Sides wasn't willing to go to war, at least not publicly, and that cost her everything. So here's what we're left with. Was Christie Sides actually a bad coach? Or was she just the wrong coach at the wrong time? Did she fail to protect her players? Or did she protect them in ways that weren't visible enough for a fan base that needed to see the fight? And here's the uncomfortable part. If the Fever had won more games, would any of this have mattered? Probably not. Winning covers a lot of sins. But when you're 20-20, when you're barely making the playoffs, when your franchise player is getting targeted and you're preaching love will win, the fan base has no patience. The "love will win" speech might be the most analyzed quote of her career, and it perfectly summarizes the problem. Because love should win. Grace and humility and kindness are good things. But when your player is on the ground holding her eye, fans don't want to hear about grace. They want to see rage. And Christie Sides never gave them that. The Fever moved on. They hired Stephanie White as the new head coach, a former Fever player. Someone with Indiana roots. Someone the fanbase could rally behind. And the hope is that White will bring the fire that Sides couldn't, or wouldn't, show. But here's the risk. If the new coach does get technicals, does fight with refs, does play the enforcer role, and the team still doesn't win a championship, will the fanbase turn on her too? Because that's the reality of coaching Caitlin Clark. The expectations are sky high. The scrutiny is relentless, and there's no margin for error. Christie Sides learned that the hard way. She lost her job not because she was incompetent, but because she couldn't, or wouldn't, become the coach the fanbase demanded. So was Christie Sides betrayed? No. Was there a locker room blow-up? No. Was there a secret conspiracy? No. But here's what did happen. A coach with a clear philosophy ran headfirst into a fanbase with completely different expectations. And when those two forces collided, the coach lost. Every time. Because in professional sports, the fans don't care about your principles. They care about results. And if you can't deliver both, you better deliver one. Christie Sides delivered neither in the way that mattered to the people watching. And so her tenure ended the same way it played out. Quietly, calmly, with grace, but without the fight the fanbase was screaming for. The question now isn't whether she deserved to be fired. The question is whether any coach can survive in this environment without becoming exactly what the fans want them to be. And that's the part we'll be watching. Because the next coach is walking into the exact same pressure cooker. The same fanbase. The same expectations. The same scrutiny. And if they don't learn from what happened to Christie Sides, they'll end up exactly where she did. Out. Let me know what you think in the comments. Was Christie Sides treated fairly? Or did the fanbase demand something impossible? And if you want the next update on the Fever's coaching situation, hit subscribe.